You're listening to Success Stalkers Radio, episode number 2 with Art Lewin. Welcome to Success Stalkers Radio. I am your host, Ioana Garrett. People all over the globe are rewriting the rules to success. They're making money and changing the world. Join me Monday through Friday as I interview today's top entrepreneurs, business leaders, and entertainers that will leave you inspired to take action and achieve success on purpose. Are you ready? Let's dive right in. Okay, Success Stalkers, let's get started. I am simply thrilled to introduce our guest today, none other than Art Lewin. So, Art, are you ready to stalk some success today?
Let's do it.
All right. So,
I'm ready.
Good deal. Well, Art Lewin is the owner of Executive Clothiers, one of the nation's premier custom clothiers. He's considered one of the leading experts on direct marketing, image consulting, and the leading custom clothier to California's most prominent corporate stars to some of Hollywood's movie stars. Art also sits on the executive committee board and chairs the membership committee at the City Club on Bunker Hill, which is a prestigious members-only executive private club, a platinum and board member of Presidential Inner Circle, and he's also the founder of PBN, a professional business networking group with over 5,000 online members. And he's been featured in the Los Angeles Times, the Wall Street Journal, Hispanic Business Magazine, Entrepreneur Magazine, Los Angeles Business Journal, American Express, Inc. Magazine, Club Corp Magazine, and just numerous other publications. So, Art, I've given our listeners just a little overview. So take a minute and tell us about you personally because we want to get to know you. Then give us an overview of your business.
Sure. Again, my full name is Arturo Carlos Lewin Ponce. I'm originally from Chile, and I came here when in the 70s. I was a real young kid. So imagine this man that you haven't seen in a few years comes and sweeps you up your feet and brings you to a whole different country. And that's how my life started here in the United States. And little by little, obviously, we arrived in our studio apartment. And as time goes, little by little, you adjust. But I didn't know English, and so you have to adjust really, really quick. And since I was a kid, I got involved with sales. I was really young. My parents got divorced when I was 12, so I had no choice but to go to work. And helping out my mother cleaning homes and cleaning disgusting 76 gas station bathrooms, I had to work young as a kid. And let's fast forward a little bit. At 18 years old, I got my first real sales job, and it was selling vacuum cleaners door to door.
Okay.
To date, yeah, it's the hardest selling job I've ever had, but it taught me discipline.
I'm sure.
And from there, I got recruited by a company called Metagram America. And they are a Fortune 500 company selling pagers back in the day. I don't know if you remember the pagers.
I do remember.
Yeah, and these are alphanumeric pagers. They're kind of like today's text messaging. So they were really advanced in the 80s, and they're really, really expensive. And that's how I got to know the custom clothing business. I sold 2 pagers to this custom clothier in 1989. Mm-hmm. And immediately he recruited me into the clothing business. And that's kind of how my career started. And this is back in 1989, so it's 25 years ago. His name was Victor. Victor and I lasted, I worked for him for a couple of years, and we did really, really well because my prior experience was all direct selling, which means going out and getting the business, not waiting for it.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, we're going to dive, way into your journey a little bit later. But before we do it, we always like to start Success Stalkers Radio off with a success quote to really get that motivational ball rolling. So take it away.
Well, really my success one, I tell everybody, I call it a virus, and it's called enthusiasm because it's contagious. Mm-hmm. And that's really kind of kind of how I attract people. So I'm always my energy level's really, really high. So I'm really enthusiastic about life, about business, about my relationship, really about anything I do.
Gotcha, gotcha. So what's one of your favorite quotes? Do you have one?
One of my favorite quotes is challenge yourself to stretch out and reach for greatness. That's I always quote that because it's kind of empowering. It's so true.
It is, it is. So tell us, give me an example, Art, of how have you applied that to your journey?
Meaning coming from nothing and always pushing myself on a daily, weekly, yearly business, I always wanted more. When you have nothing, you get, and you little by little, you see that you're acquiring things and adding to your net worth. It's exciting, and challenging myself and stretching and reaching for greatness. It's kind of like what the quote I just mentioned. It's what I do on a daily basis.
That's awesome. Well, I want to stop right here for just a moment and share with our success stalkers, because this interview is so special to me because, not many of people know this, but you are one of my personal mentors. And, I just feel so honored to have the opportunity to kind of almost be like your little understudy, from a distance.
Sure.
And, we of course, we met through Facebook and, we've
Sure.
just been, friends ever since, but I just admire everything that you do. I'm just so elated to just be able to be mentored by you, and it's just an honor. I just wanted to tell everybody that. So I'm really excited about this interview.
Thank you. I really appreciate that, and it's really kind words to hear from sweet people, especially you, Ioana. It's awesome.
Thank you.
But it's true. I'm true. This is me. I'm not putting on a facade. This is just me.
I know. Well, here at Success Stalkers Radio, we are all about the story, all about the journey. And I know that you have had quite an amazing journey. So, but what I want to focus on first and foremost is a failure. A time in your life where you fell flat on your face. And I want you to take us there with you and then share a lesson, some lessons that you learned from that failure.
Sure. I started my business in 1997, and just from the start, we started doing great numbers, and it was getting better and better and better and better, and every year we were just breaking all sorts of records. However, in 2008, in California, everything was just going under real estate, and I lost about a little bit over 1,000 clients. And losing 1,000 clients will hurt any business. And at the same time, I almost lost my mother. She got cancer, and it was just a kind of a weird time because I was getting hit by all these different. I was going through an IRS audit at the same time, so I got hit with 3 different things that I wasn't used to. However, thinking that I was going to go under, I came out stronger, and the lesson being is that I had to tackle one item at a time. So whether it be how to reinvent myself in business and get away from the real estate clients and go after the corporate clients, and then there was nothing I could do about my mom's health, but just my faith in her to make it through. And then the audit, it was just a matter of time until we just settled that. And that's kind of how I took it, one step at a time, one project at a time, really.
Good. Well, Art, let's go forward and transition to the other end of the spectrum, which is what I call the aha moment, or that light bulb moment. Because just like you've had lessons that you've learned from your failures, I know you've also had some amazing ideas that have helped you to become successful. So just tell us one of those things that that you can remember. And remember this is a story. We want you to take us there with you and tell us about that time in your life when you had that aha moment and the steps you took, to turn that light bulb moment into success.
Sure. Going back to 1997, as you know, I have a clothing business with suits and shirts and things. And one day, one of my clients calls me to his office. This is in mid 97. He calls me to his office to come and show him cloth, to sell him suits and shirts and things. And I happened to go back the next day to that same office, and I see a young, hungry attorney still in the same clothes. And so I asked him, my curious mind wanted to know, I asked him, why are, I didn't ask him why. I said, have you been here all night? He says, yep. These partners had me working day and night until we finished this project. And that was an aha moment for me, because it was from that point forward that I took my company, instead of people coming to see me, I went to see my clients and saving them time and making it convenient for them. And from that moment on, my life just changed. Not only my life, my business just changed, because I realized there was a niche on dressing executives in their offices comparing coming to me, to the store. And that was a huge aha moment for me, and it changed everything.
Oh my gosh, that's huge. I didn't know that. That's great. Well, let's shift for just a second, Art, because, I want to shine the spotlight on you for just a minute. Share with us one of your proudest entrepreneurial moments.
Gosh, one of my proudest entrepreneurial moments, do you mean by an accolade, or do you mean by, you tell me,
It could be an accolade, whatever you're most proud of that you've done through your years on your journey. What are you most proud of?
About 3 years ago, I got a call from American Express, and I have no idea how they heard about me, but somewhere, probably social media, they heard about us, and they flew out 8 people to come and do a story on us, and they put us on their page, and that was kind of like a huge thing for me. And it made me realize, wow, I'm doing some great things here. And then obviously there's so many more, but that was a really special one for me. American Express, a huge company, reaching out to a little guy and say, hey, we want to hear your story. And they put it on video and all that stuff. And that was a really great and neat moment for me.
Yeah, I've had a chance to see that video. It's awesome. I've watched it over and over again. I've actually shared it with several of my friends and business partners. So.
Yeah, that was kind of cool.
Yeah, very inspiring, very inspiring. And, so, Art, you and I both know being as an entrepreneur that it can sometimes be a roller coaster of emotions. And,
right.
you can be up today, and within the next 24 hours, you're frustrated, and ready to quit. So tell us, how do you keep your focus and, that end result? How do you keep that end result in mind?
I learned this a long time ago. I have what I call a PhD mentality. And PhD, I break it down for being positive, hungry, and driven. Love it. And that's a mentality that I keep on a daily basis. And for a long time, it was about the money, just making the money and acquiring wealth. But after a while, it doesn't mean much to you after a while. And then now what keeps me driven is being the best in my business, in my niche that I'm in. PhD, huh? PhD, positive, hungry, and driven.
I love that. I got to use that. I'll give you credit.
Yeah, I love it.
I'll give you credit. I will.
Okay, you got it.
All right, so next thing I want to talk about is some of your latest projects, because I know you always have some exciting things going on. I won't let the cat out of the bag. I'll let you do that. But what's one thing that's really exciting you right now in your business? Some things that you're doing.
There's a couple things, and one of them, we just opened up or relaunched another showroom in Arizona, in Scottsdale, and that's been open for a couple of weeks, doing some great things there. I could see in the future that we're gonna take over that market in Arizona. That's number one. Number two, I've been asked to public speak a lot, and we've been selling out the venues, and that's pretty exciting to me because I'm not a professional speaker, but I'm honing my skills, and I can see myself getting better and better and better, and I think that's my future. I'm also writing a book, and I can see myself speaking a lot more in 5 to 10 years, public speaking and helping and inspiring other young individuals to kind of have a great path as I have.
Absolutely. I can definitely see that. I can't wait for your book to come out. I've been waiting for that for a while now. I've been talking to you about that.
Yes, you have.
Yeah, that's going to be exciting. And definitely when we have some things in the future, I would love for you to come and speak at our events as well.
You got it.
Okay. Well, now this is my favorite part of the interview, Art, the success round. So I'm going
Hmm.
to throw some questions at you, and then I
Okay.
want you to come back with some knockout
Sure.
answers. Is that okay? All right, good deal. Well, what is it that held you back from becoming an entrepreneur before you started? I know you started when you were early, but when you were young.
All right.
But before you became a larger entrepreneur, what were there some things that held you back?
I think I needed the knowledge and the experience in the business. I've done a lot of things in my past. I've had 23 jobs. Well, when I discovered clothing in '89, between '89 and I went on my own in 1997, so that's 8 years. So
Okay.
in order for me to be the best at what I do, I had to acquire knowledge and experience.
Hmm.
Um, and that's kind of what did it.
Good deal. And what is the best advice, business advice you've ever received?
Keep hungry. Keep
Stay hungry.
hungry.
Yep.
Stay hungry. Keep
All right.
hungry. Keep driven. Go and get it. Don't wait. Don't procrastinate. Just keep going. There's always going to be problems or mishaps or whatever, but you just fix them along the way. Just keep going.
Right, right. Well, can you share one of your daily personal habits, that you believe attributes to your success? Something that you do on a daily basis?
Sure, sure. And I have 10 of them, but I'll share one. And this one, and
You
this
can share a couple. That's fine.
okay, and this one is really, really important. It's my number 6, and it's have income producing activities. I call it IPA, during business hours. Have only income producing activities during business hours. So there's no going to the gym, no going to get your car washed, a manicure, and all that stuff. No, have only income producing activities. Really, really important because people get sidetracked all day long, and they're not producing anything. They're not adding to their daily value.
That's true. That's so true. And we're challenged with that every day, as an entrepreneur, because so many things can take you off track, whether it's family or
Hmm.
just so many distractions. That's one of the biggest things that I've found as an entrepreneur, that's a constant battle every day that you have to fight those distractions.
Yeah, and another quick one, which is really obvious, is network. For us,
Mhm.
networking is huge, just because it creates the credibility in our community. And when we go network, we go with the team, and everybody's the job is to get business cards and obviously follow up. If you don't follow up, there's nothing. It's rare when things happen. So when you're networking, you're creating what I call visibility. You're out there, people are seeing you, you're seeing them. The visibility um, creates credibility, and
Right.
and the credibility creates profitability. That's kind of what I call it. I call it my V plus C equals P. Visibility, credibility equals profitability, and that's the order that you have to take networking. Yeah,
I love it. You are just dropping some incredible nuggets today. I love this. This is awesome.
you haven't heard this before,
No, not that one.
all right?
Well, let's see. Art, do you have an internet resource or some sort of business tool that you use in your business, maybe daily, that you can share with our listeners?
You know what? Lately, I've been using it. It's an app on my iPad and my iPhone. It's called Notability, and I'm always taking notes. I drive a lot, quite a bit. So I'm always thinking that, and you could talk into it, and I also record too when I'm driving quite a bit. And during the
Okay.
day, um, I have a big advantage over most people because most of my clients are wealthy. So when they're giving me advice, I'm taking notes left and right. So I use this app called Notability.
Okay. Notability. Good
Hmm.
deal. Good deal. That's awesome. So the next thing is, what book would you recommend to our listeners?
Right now, I mean, I have a library of books, but lately, one of my clients, Dr. Andrew Thorne, this is the second book, and I'm reading. It's called Leading with Legacy in Mind, and it's by Dr. Andrew Thorne, and it talks about your passion, turning your passion into purpose, and your ambition into meaning. It's really powerful. It's really deep. Yeah.
That's awesome. Okay. Well, this is the fun part of the success round. The last question I have is, I just want you to imagine, Art, for just a moment, that you woke up tomorrow morning in a brand new world, identical
Hmm.
to Earth, but you knew no one, and you still have all the experience and knowledge that you currently have today. Your food is taken care of, your shelter is taken care of, but all you have is a laptop and $500. What would you do in the next 7 days?
That's all I need. Just give me a laptop. I'm up and running in 2 weeks. This it's a great question because I always tell and share this with so many people that if you take my business away from me today, put me in New Orleans, and you're in, right? Put me anywhere in the country, anywhere. All I need is a laptop and a phone, and I'm up and running in 2 weeks by cold calling. Just start
Yes,
prospecting.
indeed.
Start prospecting because in my business, since we all sell something, I start.
Mhm.
I'm going to start cold calling, and then give me a week to set up my second week, and in my third week, it's when I start seeing my income. That's it.
Right. Wow. That's good. That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, I tell you, Art, just, hearing your journey, I've been, privileged to hear it before, but, really on another level today. And this is just really, really good stuff. And, it's so inspiring. And, before we end, I want you to just give our success stalkers, our listeners, a parting piece of guidance and, our advice, and share the best way they can find you. And then we'll say goodbye.
Sure. I always tell people that the greatest tragedy in life is not death, but living your life bound by the dramatic experiences from your past. So wherever you're from, whoever did you wrong, if you come from a broken family, school dropout, poor, bankrupt, divorced, mentally or physically abused, see, most of us have had these obstacles in our life, and I happen to have them all. However, I chose not to dwell on them. So don't ever let someone else's opinion become your reality. And don't ever let others control your destiny.
Right.
That's how
Right.
I want to leave with your listeners. It's so important. It's so important.
Absolutely. It truly, truly is.
I
And,
mean, what I
I know our.
go ahead.
Mhm.
I'm sorry.
No, no, go ahead.
What I said is pretty deep, but it's so true.
It is. It is so true. I know so many people who have experienced so many of those things that you just mentioned. And, I know our listeners, they've gotten some really great takeaways today and some tips from you, and they can also find the links to everything that we talked about today at successstalkers.com/Art Lewin. And they'll be able to see all of the show notes there, the things that we discussed, and be able to follow you there as well.
Awesome. They could also follow me on Facebook. It's Facebook.com/Art Lewin Bespoke, Bespoke, or just Google Art Lewin, Lewin, and you'll be able to find me everywhere.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. And so, Art, we really appreciate your transparency today and for being so generous with your time. And, we say thank you. And for everyone out there listening, keep stalking success.
Success Stalkers, I'm listening. I can't wait to listen to this, and I appreciate the interview. Ioana, your time, and I look forward to it.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Art.
Thank you.
So
Have a
much.
great day.
You too.
Bye-bye.
Today's takeaway, Art discussed having a PhD mentality, being positive, hungry, and driven on a daily basis, not waiting, not procrastinating, because there will always be problems. Just fix them along the way. Success Stalkers, I encourage you to not get bogged down with day-to-day challenges. Push through them and keep that positive mindset because it will protect your vision along the way. Well, that'll do it for another episode of Success Stalkers Radio. If you'd like to hear more from the nation's most inspiring entrepreneurs and entertainers, be sure to subscribe to the Success Stalkers podcast on iTunes. And please leave us a message or a comment at successstalkers.com.